My job is simple, just dealing with students, because I have great students. So we're going to break the room kind of in half. So these 2 rows of tables this way, you'll all work with Laura here, so you'll all work with Dan.
And we had a code that said 911, and that meant I need you at the mall as soon as possible. Don't call me. I can't answer your phone call. I got to security and I found out that a U-Haul truck had entered one of our ramps, our west ramp. This vehicle truck, this U-Haul truck, came in and bumped into one of those and kept going, and bumped into a second one of those and kept going, bumped into the third warning obstacle, kept going, and proceeded to hit a concrete column, which fell onto the vehicle and killed the driver. His child and his wife were sitting next to him. We had to deal with getting the driver out, getting emergency medical here, handling all of the guest issues, not to mention the crisis comms with that. My team was downtown at an event. For my scenario is think about, how does that team support me? What do you think their roles were? And how did we work together as a team, remotely and in person, to handle such a sensitive situation? How are we responding? They are blogging, because media is reaching out on social media, right? Reporters are really good at that. And so they're logging all of that as well. What do you think that scene is like? Chaos, who said that? It feels like chaos when you're in the middle of a crisis sometimes, but I'll tell you, it's not chaos. Because one thing that's really critical, and I don't know if this is exactly how we're supposed to do this, but this is how I'm doing it, is, Betsy, what do you think we do as a team well ahead of any crisis?
Plan.
We have a plan in place.
And maybe practice.
And we practice every quarter our communications plan. So we know that the intern's going to monitor websites, news sites, television sites, right? That's that intern's job. We know that the coordinator and the specialist are going to log everything, field those calls. The specialist is actually going to talk to reporters and say, I don't have a reply yet, but let me get your information, because we don't want anyone speaking until we figured out what our message is, right? But we have a plan in place that says what all of these roles are. We practice it every single quarter, and then once a year, we practice it with all of our operations team. So it feels like chaos to the person that's not ready for it, but for the team that has practiced and prepared for it, it's managed, right? It's a managed crisis. What do you think the PR director's doing as she's coming back with the group? Just no bad answers, just shout it out.
Do they go into the scene working on emergency vehicles and responders?
Yep, she's not back yet. They're still traveling back to the mall, right? They haven't arrived on scene. What do you think she might be doing? Getting updates is part of it. I was on scene, so I was the first-hand person working with security, emergency responders, getting all those updates, and I was updating her. Bess, what do you think she might be doing?
Starting to work on a statement.
She's starting to work on statements for what's happening. So she's the only person I'm talking to. That was Sarah Croft, by the way. And so I'm giving her the information, and she is on her phone. She doesn't have a laptop. She's starting to draft the response. We need to know who that reporter is, that producer, that editor, what's their deadline? Are they sending anyone to the scene? All of that issue. What's their email? What's their phone number? Who do you think on my team, as they're coming back to the mall, might be doing that?
Specialist?
What's that?
Maybe the specialist?
It was actually the specialist and the coordinator, because they're all coming back on light rail together. So the two of them, because we were getting so many media inquiries.
Having those conversations on each side. It was interesting on the PR side, then both of us having these challenging messages, as PR teams, kind of batting it out in public, and then there's a deal, and we have we're working together. And then sometimes, and especially in Minnesota marketing and healthcare, it's a small world, right? And so I didn't know the PR director at the time, but I very well could be someone I know from PRSA, and then you're each handling your own, and then you just kind of come together.
When a crisis happens, oftentimes, immediately it gets picked up by the national as well.
right? Because our local affiliates are affiliates. And so CNN's calling, and NBC, and ABC, and Fox National. So they're logging all of that information, getting ready.